Hey, what's up YouTube? My name is Nigel, and today we're going to be getting back to some mic comparisons. So what you're hearing right now is the internal mic straight from the camera, and so this kind of sounds kind of bad, right? Especially when you're doing talking interviews like this. So let's switch to the Zoom H1. Alright, so now you're hearing the Zoom H1, and the Zoom H1's pretty close to me, and so obviously the audio quality is going to be a lot better. But when you're doing sit-down talking head type interviews, it's really crucial to have a good lav mic. So I'm going to be comparing two pretty inexpensive lav mics. The first one is the Azden EX503. I've had this one for a while. I've used it in a few weddings. It's served me well for the most part. The only problem with this one is that it's a mono mic, so I always have to fill the left channel with the right channel. So that's the only gripe I have with this. So we're going to see how this sounds in comparison to the Aspen stereo lav mic. This one's a really solid mic. It's stereo, so I don't have to worry about filling in any channels with a mono signal. Yeah, this one's great. I got it over a year ago, and it works really well. So I'm going to be doing a comparison between the Azden and the Aspen. I'm also going to be using both of these mics on two different recorders, so I'm going to plug them both into the Zoom H1 and see how that sounds. But I also wanted to do a test and see how they would sound on this little Sony recorder. This is the Sony UX533. This isn't as fancy as like a Zoom H1. It doesn't have the recording options. This is just really basic. I've used it on a couple of weddings. I'm not really sure the pricing on this, but it's around the same price as a Zoom H1. The only reason I got this was because I wanted something small that could fit into a person's pocket without being too obtrusive. The Zoom H1 is small, but it's just not small enough to really go in your pocket and for it to not feel weird. So yeah, we're gonna do two comparisons, or really four comparisons altogether, with two different audio recorders and two different lav mics. So let's get right into it. All right, so what you're hearing right now is the Azden EX503 clipped right onto my shirt and plugged into the Zoom H1. This is a mono signal that I've split into two signals to fill the left and the right channel. So now let's go to the Azden EX503 plugged into the Sony. All right, so now what you're hearing is the Azden EX503 plugged into the Sony UX533. Now this is what I would typically use for a wedding type scenario, is I would clip a mic like this and then put this audio recorder in, say, the groom's pocket. But for the most part, I've always gone with the Aspen mic with this Sony when I'm miking a groom. And again, this Azden has been split into two channels because this is a mono mic. So this is the audio quality you can expect from this mic recorder combo. All right, so now what you're hearing is the Aspen stereo mic plugged into the Sony UX533. So this is a setup that I would normally use in a wedding situation when I'm miking a groom. This little recorder fits very nicely into the jacket pocket of the groom's tuxedo. My only complaint with this little recorder is that you cannot see the audio levels of your signal until you press record. So that's kind of frustrating, but there is options to lower the mic input level and change your levels a little bit. Definitely not as much as the Zoom H1, but it does give you enough manual control that you can get some pretty decent audio out of this little Sony recorder. So this is the final setup that we'll do. This is, in my opinion, the best combination. The Aspen stereo lapel mic with the Zoom H1 audio recorder. I've had this Zoom H1 for such a long time, and it's such a great little recorder, especially for how much it costs. It's only like $100, probably cheaper now. I don't even know how much these go for these days. And paired with this Aspen stereo lapel mic, it's just a really great combo if you're doing anything really serious. Not to say that the little Sony recorder can't get the job done. Obviously, I wouldn't use it if I wasn't confident in it, especially in weddings. But if you wanted to get like the best audio quality you possibly could, and your talent didn't mind having the Zoom H1 in their pocket, then this is definitely the combination that I would recommend. But yeah, a good lav mic is definitely something that you should invest in. It gives great audio quality. You could probably get two of these, and maybe even two of these little Sony recorders, and you'd be good for shooting a wedding if you wanted to. So yeah, hopefully that little comparison was helpful for you guys if you're in the market for a inexpensive lav mic. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button, and if you guys want to see more content from me, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. But until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.